One of the biggest challenges that we have as alt media producers is to produce information that other people want to hear. More so, it's even more of a challenge to produce information that mainstream people are willing to hear. The topics that are on alternative media are quite often not topics of comfort to those who think they already have the world figured out, have formed an opinion, have participated in the political system that we have, and are running their lives day to day as if they have somewhat of a control over it, that they understand how the world works. So when you talk about alternative media, many of them go into the notion, well, it's on the internet, so it can't be real. They haven't made the transition that all information is internet based at this point. So getting them to understand and take that leap is a little bit of a challenge. When you stop and consider YouTube, for instance, when you pull up YouTube and you start looking at the volume of videos that are on there, 1,300,000,000 videos are submitted every minute. 5 billion videos are watched every day, and YouTube has 30 million visitors every day. So the topics on the YouTube channel are broad, varied, and often produced with a shock value title and image to stand out and get attention from the rest of the myriad, which actually plays against us if we are asking mainstreamers to migrate over and to understand that alternative media does have information that can help us understand better what the real world is like. But when you go to YouTube and you open up the channels, the first things you're going to see are things about wiretapping and pedophilia and government corruption and aliens. We're not alone. Political controls. You're going to see interviews with people that have been amused, abused, and are out there. You're going to see everything you possibly can see. And YouTube will filter in your feeds by the things that you seem to identify with. So it will get even more intense in a very short amount of time. So having people who are mainstreamers, I was in a car of, there were 5 of us yesterday commuting to a place where we all volunteer and contribute our time and effort. I was the only alternative media person in the vehicle, and so I listen a lot and try to understand how these people view the world. And they're very intelligent, they're very well read. Many of them are medical practitioners. Several of them were involved with the educational system. One was a government worker. So it's a broad variety of people who are well respected, well read, and think they understand the world. So I am cautious when I plant the seed of alternative media. I tell them I'm teaching classes to help people understand how to sift and sort the wheat from the chaff, but still it is a bit of a challenge. Listening to their political views is a button for me because I have to be very, very quiet. They have been fed through mainstream media and have a very solid opinion that I believe is exceptionally inaccurate. But rather than challenge them and ostracize myself or alienate myself from their conversation, I remain pretty quiet on those pieces. So I think about how I could say something that would garner their interest of learning more or learning a different side to the story they think they know. I was on a chairlift. We were at a ski resort. I was on a chairlift talking to a well-respected medical person who thought he understood a little bit of the government and how it works, and I dropped just a couple of little notions of you might want to rethink about some of this stuff, and his immediate response was, that's too heavy for me. So that notion that alternative media is unpacking and revealing truthful activity and sides still plays against us with the shock value techniques used by many alt media producers. So for those of us that want to get the word out and share information and bring people over to the other side of media and media consumption, then we need to rethink or think about how we produce our information. So for that thought and on that note, I look forward to hearing and interacting with many of you. And I appreciate and value any and all feedback.